boys, the anniversary live stream has just finished, right? I have translated all of the info. The translations are gonna be a bit wacky, right? But yeah, I have translated all of the info. We'll see some of the screen and I'll basically try to recap quickly everything about what's coming out in August, September, and even the fourth quarter towards the end of the year. Alright, let's go. Okay, so first up, the return of the best minigame this game has ever seen, the KOTA's Adventure. So this time it will be an upgraded one. There will most likely be some kind of rewards and we can see the leaderboards as well. There's a third currency, or that may be just entry tickets, I'm not even sure, right? You will be able to play as 5 different characters now, not just KOTA. However, based on the gameplay I've seen, it looks like they are just like decorations, right? They don't actually add any new abilities. However, they did give us some gameplay, and if you look at right here, right? First of all, these are the active skills that we previously had. These are the passive skills that we previously had. There's another line here, and that seems to be limited time power-ups that will quite literally just drop on the ground somewhere, right? You can pick them up and you can get some sort of a bonus. As you can see, he has like a sword that might be something like increased attack. But yeah, like there's a chest of some sort. It's a possibility that we might get like actual lobby rewards inside the match, but there should be a clip where they pick up some sort of a power-up as well. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited. It is a hard mode, but it is by far like the best mode that I've ever played in this game. So yeah, there's that. Next up, there will be a new event field, right? I don't know why they said filet. I don't know. They whatever. Wonky translation, right? Event field. These are kind of regular. I mean, we had these in Christmas. We had this in the first anniversary. This time it looks like they're going for more of a darker theme, so yeah, that looks pretty cool. This is where most likely all of the like story will happen. Apart from that, maybe some field events, right? They do have some special like field events happening during anniversaries, but from what I could translate, they didn't mention too much when it comes to this field, right? And now for the gifts that you can get. So all of these pictures that are listed as gifts is something they mentioned that you will be able to get during the anniversary. And keep in mind, this was listed under August, and tomorrow is the last update that there will be in August. So pretty much everything you're seeing here until we go to the tab for September is something that is most likely coming out tomorrow, right? First of all, skins, right? We'll most likely be able to get free skins since they are mentioned under the gift tab, right? Next up, we'll also have this weird like firework icons. I guess we can... It was animated, right? Like, it's something like a particle effect to just follow you. Yeah, it's like little exploding fireworks around you. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Next up, gift 3 is this hair accessory, right? It's pretty cute. They also showcased it a little bit more zoomed in. But basically it's just a little dragon sitting at the top of your head, right? Very cute, very nice. Approved. And now, my friends, yes, for those who have played in the first anniversary, yes, this is exactly what you think it is. We are getting another light and dark unit. They did mention, from the translation, if I understood correctly, they did mention that you will be able to select one of the 10. So there will no longer be any like votes on who you can pick, who you cannot pick, right? We'll have the 6 options here, and they have added other 4 in case you do not like any of the 6 here. So we have the Light Archer, Light Raven, Dark Joker, and Dark Pirate. I mean, these are cool picks, but when it comes to like, if you don't have one of the picks on the left, I think the left picks are still like way better. I'm very excited about Eleonora. I'm finally gonna get her, because last time I picked Kraka, and yes, this will help out with spires a lot. On top of that, we're getting some new rewards. So yeah, we can see like Light and Dark Scrolls, Transcendent Scrolls, maximization marbles. What is this one? Like blessing reset? I don't know. Forgot what this name is. Altar's Blessing reset, yeah. Destiny dice, that's pretty cool, since it's a very hard to obtain item, and every time you use it, I believe you get like 40 light and like those weird light and dark scrolls or whatever, right? And a 5-star artifact selection ticket, which is pretty cool because I still do not have a quirky artifact. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, this is a ride. In the middle, this is a ride that you can, well, ride. Next up, Git 5 is an event. I believe this event was already present before, right? I wasn't playing when it first came out, but essentially, you will be spinning this wheel. If you connect 3 of them, you will be able to get bonus rewards. As you can see, I don't know if the Devilman will be available. They do show it here. We can see 5 mystical skulls there, artifacts there, and on top of that, it looks like light essences and legendary tier items like books, effect stone, gems, all of that. And now, the big boy werewolf. This is a new mythic raid that will be replacing the current one. This will most likely rotate on Monday, not tomorrow, right? Because there's like 3 or 4 days left to the current mythic raid. I think they're gonna let that one finish. They usually do this with hero raids as well, because hero raids are resetting next week as well. So we'll most likely see a new accessory set together with that. But yes, there will be a new mythic raid. They did give us a little bit of a preview of what it can do, right? I'm not gonna analyze it too much, but there's a few like quirks that they showed, right? First of all, there's this bubble. I think in the story mode, you remember where you had to drag or like stop bubbles from going into the middle. In this case, it looks like you actually need to drag them into the middle because they will follow you, right? Also, there is some sort of like a shield phase. And by the way, if you noticed that bubble, right? It was giving you weaken attack, or is that attack speed weak? I think it's weaken attack, blindness and oblivion. So yeah, potentially you will need to be very careful, because if you get hit by that, all the passive are gone, basic attacks are gone, damage pretty much non-existent unless you're a cleave abuser. Hey. And the scariest thing that I see, right? It didn't show up on this bubble. Unremovable heal block, which means that, well, there will be no healing, so you essentially cannot get hit by any skills. Or you will need to rely on stuff like invincibility, shields. I know some skills go through heal block, I believe, like balancing skills, so maybe something like a Chesun, right? She technically goes through it. I believe Harmonia, the fire harp magician, goes through it as well. So there will be ways around it. But yeah, if that is a permanent debuff, that is very scary. But yeah, we can see a little bit more of a showcase for the little mythic boss once Mr. I Will Disappoint You stops talking. And yeah, next thing, conversion. It looks like you will be able to combine, this is most likely gonna be a profession, like a recipe in professions, Sky Stones and Breath of Life in order to get Breath of Soul. Like, I didn't figure this was such an issue, but it looks like it might be for newer players, right? Because personally, I have a lot of this and I have a lot of Breath of Life stacked up. Sky Stones in the 30 millions, right? So I have definitely no problems with the recipe existing, right? As long as it gives more options for players to get these items, right? The better. And another very big thing is they are expanding the exchange, right? So they did talk about it. I translated what they said, and it looks like they are adding additional items to the exchange center. So basically, we've seen runes recently be added, right? We've seen a lot of like negative changes, I would say, with the exchange market, especially like the market, like the price caps, which pretty much killed the market for the most part like years ago. Now they are adding these items, and they did say they are adding items seen on the screen. So devil mons, rainbow mons, angel mons, skill points, XP potions, magic essences, and rune pieces. A lot of these items, like, older players will be stacked up on, right? Like, for example, skill pieces. Like, once you fully max skill, once you unlock all of the limited skills, you just have a lot of these, right? And you can keep buying them from stuff like TOA shops, you get them from expeditions, right? So that's pretty good. never seen myself too overflowed with Devilmons, so yeah, I don't know who's gonna be selling those, but hey, if it's there, I don't mind it. Rune pieces, definitely don't need any of those, right? Like, I don't power that much artifacts, so that's a good thing. XP potions, never gonna have too many of those, but it also opens up potential for farming Path of Training and selling those items. And you can imagine that while you farm it during Path of Training bingo, for example, there is a good chance that you can make a lot of crystals back, right? And essences, again, pretty easy to farm, so I'm not sure who would buy them, especially since level 10 is what, like 300,000 power in order to get the bonus, right? And you can beat the dungeon in like 3 perna hits. So yeah, I can see people selling it. I don't really see people buying it much, right? And another cool thing they mentioned is updates to the Summoner Pass, right? But this, from what I understood from the translation, right? They mentioned that this will be a Summoner Pass, like a first Summoner Pass for new players, right? So this means that essentially the first time you log into the game, right, your Summoner Pass will be an upgraded one. So you can see the bottom path is unlocked for free. These like bonus items where you get like dungeon tickets, essence tickets, quick battle tickets, all that will be unlocked as well. And it looks like you will be getting some sort of a ride for free as well, right? Next up, the new units, Lightning Emperor. So these are being promoted from Sky Arena, right? We don't know their skills yet, but I did make a video a few days ago about speculation what those skills might be. So if you want to check that out, make sure to go to the channel and click that. You'll see like new unit or something like that. I don't even remember what I called the video. The bad thing, which I don't kind of like, is, if I understood correctly from the translation, they are changing the way they are releasing new unit banners. So in here you can see that we see a Wind Lightning Emperor as well as the both Dark and Light options. What they mentioned is instead of releasing all 5, they will now be releasing 3 and then follow up with 2. So we've seen something like this in like collaboration events where they release one unit and a week later they release other units, right? So they mentioned that they will be releasing these 3, right? And then they will be releasing the other 2. I'm guessing this is most likely because people just have trouble like collecting a lot of mystical scrolls, right? So in a way it could help them, but also a big problem I see with this is, like, let's say you release a Wind unit, right? Like in this case, and that unit is like garbage, right? Barely usable to someone, but garbage, right? And then they release the other 2 units, and those 2 units are like super OP, right? Like let's say they release Fire and Water like 2 weeks later. Those units are super OP, but you spend it on this one because you didn't know the other 2 skills, so now you don't have enough mystical scrolls for the other 2. I don't know, like, release all 5, right? And increase the length of the banner for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, why split it up? I don't know. Just weird. I see why they're releasing Dark and Light, right? Because those are very, like, limited. You cannot get them through banners, so you will have trouble getting them regardless with mystical scrolls, so there's no point in saving. But yeah, this is something I personally don't like. Like, just increase the banner duration. I know if you like are not able to create enough monsters fast enough, sure, like postpone it, get 2-4 weeks extra, I don't care. Don't segment these releases into like 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later. I don't know. This part I didn't like at all, personally. But do let me know your opinion about it. Next up, a few changes for the Mystic Island, right? So the main one you will see by the activity here is, yes, you will be able to place monsters in here. And again, if I understood the translation correctly, you might be able to invite other summoners to walk in here as well, right? But yeah, essentially you can place your monsters. If you don't like some of the monsters, you can place them back. It's not like Sky Arena where you summon 500 units and they just all camp up your island. I hated that in there. But in here it looks like you can move them in and out of storage, so yeah, that's pretty good. And yes, can you believe it? All of that was just August. So most likely tomorrow, as well as next week for some of the days, right? Now we're moving to stuff that's coming out in September. So first up, a new PvP mode. I'm not sure whether they mean like completely new PvP or whether this is like another battlefield map. But if I understood correctly, they mentioned that it will be like a solo mode. And what I mean by that is not like only you playing, but it will either be most likely just your summoner or it could be just your monster, right? The translation was a bit wonky there. They did say that there will be a single like unit, a single summoner on the game, but they do take this information with a bit of a grain of salt, right? But yeah, there will be a new PvP mode. It looks like the map is extremely original. There's a lot of stairs and a very straight path. So yeah, I don't know. Also, if you jump with Kina, you instantly get rank 1. Next up, I'm not gonna translate some of this stuff that they said, because do I need to translate these pictures? Like, come on. The boobs talk by themselves, my friends. So yeah, this... Oh, what are these units? Actually, I should have listened, right? I should have listened. Okay, my friends, I did my part and I listened. I know one of the units, and I'll most likely know the second one. The one on the right is a boomerang warrior. So, based on my extremely massive 5-headed brain, I think that one might be the other twin. I know, wild thought, but yeah, I think these are the twins, right? Chakram Dancer and Boomerang Warrior. Cool skins, by the way. Also, new ride. And now, a very brief overview of what's coming in the fourth quarter, but do not turn away, because there are some big news in here. So first up, the new monster that is coming out. Unfortunately, they didn't mention much about it, right? So we can only go off of visuals, right? And if my memory doesn't lie, I don't think there is a similar unit like this in Sky Arena, so it might be like a Chronicles original. Zoom in. Also, another transmog. This looks like Valkyrias, right? I'm just guessing based on the wings, it might be Valkyrias, right? And next up, boys. Next up, the biggest reveal possibly of this live stream. I'm gonna let it play, because the introduction they did is pretty cool. Yes. You might have seen in the thumbnail, but yes, this is exactly what you think it is. This is a new summoner that is coming out, the Warrior Summoner. It does not look anything like the Chronicles art style, I'm not gonna lie. Asset-wise, I would say around Soleda level, right? Definitely doesn't beat Orbi in my opinion. But yeah, Warrior Summoner looks pretty cool. Do stay tuned, because I will be playing her, I will be building her. That's for sure. I've already started saving resources, right? So we could like plus 15, maybe I'll plus 10, maybe I'll plus 12, maybe I'll plus 15 her. We're gonna be testing her in PvE, PvP, we're gonna test her out in bed, pause. Yeah, so that was it. Before you go, for those who did not check the live stream itself, there we go. I hope my camera doesn't cover them. Yeah, doesn't. Feel free to redeem these codes. These are pretty good. I think there's one... No, there isn't one missing, I think. Oh, no, there isn't. So basically, you will want to redeem the global listed codes, because I think the top one is for like Korea server only. So if you play there, redeem that one. And GL means global, so you will need to redeem that if you're playing on NA, EU, Asia, Japan, all of that, right? Does Japan even exist? I don't know. Japan might be Korea now. But yeah, very good stuff. Artifacts, lots of scrolls, crystals, lots of energy, and On top of that, make sure to log into the game because they have sent an additional gift of, I believe it was 300 like rune conversion stones, like boxes to select them, as well as, was it like 22 white knight skulls, right? So make sure to log in and make sure to redeem this as soon as possible because sometimes they do these codes for a very limited time and they might be expired soon. I don't know. They write it that it will last for a month, but you never know these days, right? Times are rough. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know which part you are the most excited about. Personally, Warrior Summoner and of course KOTA's Adventure. Well, how can I not? How can I not? That is literally the moment. Ah, I love it. Okay, peace.